Namaste, Pranam. Meditation on the Bhagavad Gita. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayinim Ambatvāmanusandadhāmi Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna, which was included in the Mahabharata by the ancient sage Vyasa. O Goddess, content in the 18 chapters and showering the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism. O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Now, salutations to Sri Krishna. Vasudeva sutam devam kansachanuramardanam devakim paramanandam krishnam vande jagadgurum. O son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki. O Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. So yesterday we read about that most popular verse from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, karmāṇi Shri Krishna told us, don't get your motive of work, don't fix your motive of the work towards the fruits of the work, what you are going to do. No, just focus on the work, that work which has come to your lot. That is your duty. Perform your duty. Don't worry. Don't jumble up your mind over the consequences of what you are doing. Whether you will get good returns, whether you will get bad returns. All those things are already predetermined, predestined. So Krishna says, karmaṇyevādhikāraste mā phaleshu kadāchana, and Ma karma phala hetur bhu mate saṅgaṁ karmāṇi. That giving up the attachment towards fruits of the karma. Just do your duty. And that will lead you to ultimate liberation. You don't have to do anything more for that. Don't run away from the duty. Under the garb of ignorance, don't run away, don't shun your duty, don't be inactive. And then, having said so, that giving up the attachment towards fruits of karma to your work. Now what Sri Krishna says in this 48th verse, yoga-sthaḥ kuru karmāṇi saṅgaṁ tyaktvā dhanañjaya siddhy-asiddhyoḥ samo bhūtvā samatvaṁ yoga uchyate. Now Sri Krishna says that yoga-sthaḥ kuru karmāṇi saṅgaṁ tyaktvā Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya is Arjuna. O Dhananjaya. Yoga-sthaḥ kuru karmāṇi. Yoga-sthaḥ is being steadfast in yoga. Having established yourself in with the attitude of yoga. Kuru karmāṇi. You do your work. And how it is to be done? Saṅgaṁ tyaktvā. Karmāṇi saṅgaṁ tyaktvā. Do your duty with abandoning the attachment. Tyaktvā is abandon, and saṅgaṁ is attachment to the fruits of karma which are going to come there at the end of the work. Don't ruin your present. Don't ruin your present thinking about the consequences of the karma that you are going to do. What are the fruits of you are going to do? Abandon that attachment and getting established in the stage of yoga, union, the same-sightedness. Perform your duty with detached mind, with non-attachment. Further, Sri Krishna says, siddhy-asiddhyoḥ. Siddhya is achievement, success. Asiddhyoḥ, failure. Sama bhūtvā. Look at the success, and samaha is same. Bhūtvā, having become. That is, look at the success and failure with the same sightedness. When you reach that stage, then samatvaṁ, uchyate, yoga-sthaḥ. Then it is called as the evenness, the same-sightedness, the yoga of the mind. So Sri Krishna says that never get attached. Attachment is the culprit, the biggest culprit. Attachment to anything, attachment to the fruits of work, the fruits of karma, the consequences of karma, when we keep more focus on that rather than actually doing the karma, rather than actually doing the work, when our entire focus is on the consequences, our efforts go waste. If we have to put in, say, 10% of the efforts in doing a job, just focusing on the karma, focusing on the consequences of the karma, focusing on the fruits of the karma, we are unnecessarily required to spend 20, 30, 50% of efforts, which is absolutely waste. And at the end of it, we don't know what is going to be the fruit of the karma. So Krishna says, don't get attached to the fruit of the karma. And then, siddhy-asiddhyoḥ. Have same-sightedness for success and failure. Because your duty is to do it. Whether it leads to good results, bad results, why should you worry about it? Do whatever has come to your lot. That is what Sri Krishna says. Don't run away from it. Do your lot, but with a detached mind. Never get attached to the fruits of the karma. And having got into this particular state, you reach the state of yoga, the highly elevated state of same-sightedness, the equanimity of looking at the adversities, the equanimity of looking at the pairs of opposites. Remember, Sri Krishna has earlier told us in the 30th chapter, verse of this Sankhya Yoga. Sukha dukkhe same krutvā labha labhau jaya jayo. What Sri Krishna said? That take up this attitude of looking at the pairs of opposites, sukha and dukkha. Sukha dukkhe same krutvā. Having done the sukha and dukkha, the happiness and the misery, looking at them with the same sightedness. Today it is happiness, tomorrow it is misery. So what? Again next day happiness will come. Again next day misery will come. That is the cycle of Mother Nature. That is the cycle of Prakriti. So always look at this pairs of opposites in the same spirit. Today it is joy. Next moment it can be sorrow. Again there will be joy. Again there will be sorrow. Now it is pleasure. Next moment it will be pain. next moment again it will be pleasure, again followed by pain. So Krishna is so much, sincerely telling Arjuna, telling we devotees that you attain that state of yoga and then do your duty. Don't shun the duty. Don't run away from the duty. So that is this shloka about perform action, O Dhananjaya, being fixed in yoga, having established in yoga, renouncing attachments, abandoning attachments to the fruits of karma. Perform action, do your duty, and even-minded in success and failure. Equilibrium is verily yoga. This is called as yoga. Sri Krishna has given a beautiful definition of yoga. The yogi beholds all the activities taking place in him as doings of the Lord. Yes. Whatever happens, like we saw, talked about that thing yesterday, that even the leaf of the tree that moves with the wind, even that happens with the will of the Lord. So why to think about what is going to happen? Why to waste our energies in those useless attachments towards thinking about consequences? He places himself in the position of a willing servant, ever ready to execute orders. The yogi, he is just waiting for orders from the Lord. Do this. And without getting involved, without getting attached to the fruits of that work, the yogi starts doing that work just as instructed by the Lord. As a command of the Lord, he does that work. Not worried about what is going to happen. Am I going to be successful? Am I going to be failure? That is not the motive at all. An attitude of this kind eliminates attachment. The master orders his servant to go to the next village and bring a particular person. And this is an example that is being given here. The servant goes on the errand accordingly but finds the person absent. Now what happens? There is no disappointment in him for this failure. So no, that person is not there. What can I do? Although the master had asked me to go and bring that person, now when I went to that person's home, the home is locked, that person is not there. Why should I feel perturbed about it? There is no disappointment in him for this failure. He is commissioned to go on another day, on which he is able to find that person sitting there in the porch of his house, in the veranda of his house. And then again, there is no special happiness, elation. Oh, today I have found this person. Fine, now I will take him to the master. No. If that person is not there, so what? If person is there, so what? Fine, today I will take him. No extra joy, no extra elation that he has found that person the next day. No. The servant is simply satisfied with carrying out orders effectively. That's it. The master has asked me to bring this person to him. I go there. That person is not there at home. I come back home empty-handed. Tell the master I went there. That person is not there. And next day when I go, that person is there. So I tell that person, my master is calling you. I take that person and take him to the master. Now it is not extreme elation that the servant, I will tell the master, oh master, see, I have brought this person. So what? Servant's duty is to do the work, whatever his master has told him. Our duty is to do the work, whatever has fallen in our Lord, because that work is been put to our Lord by the whole karta dharta, the all merciful, the all graceful Lord, the mother. We have got the work from her. So do our work. In this manner, that the yogi holds the success and failures in his endeavors free from attachment and aversion. The nature of the mind is to be elated in success and dejected in failure, naturally. This is what happens with us ordinary beings. The moment our project completes in a wonderful manner, we are so much elated. We are in the seventh plane. We are on the what they call on the ninth cloud. Oh, I have completed the project. We are just a different person when our project gets completed in successful manner that we want. And if it gets failed, if we face failure in our project, it is all dejection, it is all frustration. So that is what happens with the ordinary people. But a yogi, he does his duty. For him, success or failure is irrelevant. He has to do his duty wholeheartedly, not in half-hearted. He has to put in his 100%. He has to give all his might. He has to give all that he can towards doing that work. But by remaining unperturbed by either success or failure, the mind gets in clarity and firmness. It is like surface of water that has become placid and fit to reflect objects clearly. Once we don't have attachment towards the outcome of the work, the success or failure, our entire the way of working is like that serene, plain, clean sheet of water above the lake, where we can actually see what is there at the bottom of the lake. We can see those pebbles and stones, those fish which are happily swimming in the water. It becomes as clear as that. Our path of our way of working becomes as smooth, like that clear and clean surface of water in the calm, beautiful, blissful lake. This even-mindedness is equilibrium. That is yoga. He is a yogi who keeps the mind in this poised state under all circumstances. And when this can happen? When we start considering ourselves to be servants of the Master, that he asks us to do so many things. The Master asks us to do so many things. We do with our wholehearted intention, with wholehearted discipline, with wholehearted passion, perseverance, tenacity, everything meticulously we do, but not attached to the outcome of the work. And in this context, Sri Ramakrishna has given a beautiful teaching of how one should work with the same-sightedness, even-mindedness in the state of yoga. Sri Ramakrishna has often given this particular example. Be in the world even as a maid servant in a rich man's house. Like a maid servant, she works in the rich man's house, doing all the duties, but remaining in a detached way. For all intents and purposes, she claims the master's children and property as her own. But at the core of her heart, she knows that they do not belong to her, and she remains firm in that attitude. Seemingly, own worldly things, but have no attachment to them. As the maidservant can with ease relinquish her assumed ownership of the master's property, be prepared for separation from earthly possession. This is the teaching of Sri Ramakrishna. That remain in the world like the maidservant in a rich man's house. She will shower all her love and affection on the children of that house. My Rama, my Hari, my Shiva, my Durga, all those children in the household. She will put all her love and affection. But in her hearts of hearts, she knows that her child is there in her own home, far away in the village. After her work is over, she has to go back to her own child. She's fully engrossed in the duties of that household. If somebody asks her, she will say, "Oh, I'm working at a place where they have so much of wealth." But she knows in her heart of hearts, she has no right over that wealth. She has no right over that property. She may say, "Our master has got hundreds and hundreds of acres of land." But in her heart of hearts, she knows that not a tiny fraction of those hundreds and thousands of acres of land she has any ownership. She is just a servant there. And Sri Ramakrishna says, if we start living in this world with that attitude, that our home, our own property is there, not here in this world, it is there in the house of my mother. With that attitude, then we get into the state of yoga, then we become yogi, that we start working in this earthly world, not with attachments. And that is when we start loving the work doing in the detached manner, with a detached spirit. No more attachments for me now. All gone. My house, my home is there. I'm working in this house, fine. But my home is there. And that is the attitude Sri Ramakrishna says, like Sri Krishna has taught us in this particular verse of the siddhy-asiddhyoḥ samo bhūtvā. Having done the success and failure, having started looking at them, success and failure, in the as a same, with the same sightedness, then with detached mind, we enter into the duties of the world that has come to our lot. So that was the 48th shloka of the Sankhya Yoga, and our reading for the day of this particular shloka is over, the explanation is over, and Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Swami.